Hello everybody and welcome again to our YouTube channel. Today in this video we'll also talk about constructor. In previous video we also talk about default constructor. In this video the second types of constructor, which is parameterized constructor, we will talk. Right. Now just take a look and see the default constructor. For example, we have class myData. We have private portion and two variables, and after that public, for example this methods or other methods, and after that we have myData. In this parenthesis we don't have any arguments in any parameter here. This was called default that we already talked about in previous video. In this video we'll talk about parameterized constructor, this kind of constructor which here has and you must pass some arguments and parameters. In that constructor is called parameterized constructor. One difference. Second difference between default and parameterized is whenever you create an object of default and whenever you create an object of parameterized, you have to pass the parameter and arguments. Let's see and do it practically. Okay, you know better that I use VS Code, and this video will talk about parameterized constructor. For example, I have class by the name of my class, or you can say, you can also use this my class, right? And after that simply, okay, here for example I have private portion. Now don't worry about this, why private? And here I have, for example, one variable data member, for example string, I have name, and after that I have double salary, simple, for example. And after that I have, for example, public portion or access modifiers, you can say void. I don't want to use any method to set that data. I use my class constructor. Simply you can use my class, after that this parenthesis in these curly brackets. Now this is called up to now default constructor, but I want to use parameterize. You have to pause here. For example, I want string name, simple, and double salary. Now that is called parameterized constructor, and here I want to use this keyword and name. This name is equal to name. Now why? You know better, because we already talked about this keyword. This and salary is equal to salary, simple, right? This is our parameterized constructor. Now I set my data, right? Now you can also use a function void show info. In simple you can show info, for example is out not see out name, and after that name, and L, and copy and paste with shift alt arrow key salary, and here we have to use salary, and here I want to use salary variable, simple. Now let's see in how to create an object of this kind of class in this kind of constructor. Let's see. Now my class, and after that obj, for example obj1, you can name person1, for example person1, whatever you want, but I want obj1 like this, simply I want. And after that this semicolon. But we have an error here, and the error is that here you have, when no default constructor exists for class, we don't have any default constructor. That we have, it is parameterized, and you have to pass me parentheses. In this parenthesis you have to pass me the arguments. For example, a string name is, for example name is James, and after that salary is, for example, like this. And now if I want to run, see the result. Okay, I want to clear the screen, and now let's check. We don't have nothing. Why? The output, because you set your data but you don't show up to now to the user. Simply you can show like obj1 dot show info in simply these parentheses after a semicolon. Now let's see. Wow, we got name James in salary 12,000 for example. This is called Meteor's parameterized constructor, which have parameters. For example, I want to create another object. For example, my class obj2. For example, obj2, and after that obj2 dot what? Show info, for example. And after that, now we have an error here, and the error is that my class name is incorrect. Now let's see obj2. Now I want to pass parameter and arguments here. For example, the second one is Jack, and its salary, for example, is 14,000. Now if I want to run the program and see the result, we got two records, first record and second record. If I want to use here, for example, after that, simply firstly show me a message like this and record, and after that I want this static. Simply you can use endl as well, and let's check. If I want to run the program, wow, we got record 1, record 2, and after that I want to use CLS. This was Meteor's parameterized constructor. In this video we'll talk overall. Now one question more, that you can also use in one class 2 or 3 constructor. For example, here I have one parameterized. For example, I want to use parameterize like this. After the constructor, I can also use one default constructor for you guys. For example, I want to use default constructor, for example, my class, and after these parentheses and these, and that is called default constructor. For example, I want to use here default constructor, for example, construct, right? Now in default constructor, for example, if I come here and write, for example, name is equal to, for example, name is equal to user, and after that salary is equal to, for example, 0.0000. Now what will be the output? Take a look. If I want here my class, and after that obj3, for example, I have, and this obj3 dot what? Show info. Simple. Take a look here, right? Meteors, whenever you write here parentheses, it means that you want to call this constructor. But if you don't use here, it means you want to pause default, which automatically will call it, right? Now let's see what will be the output. Wow, we got first, second, and third is user and 0. Why? Because this is called default constructor, right? This is called default constructor, and this is called parameterize, right? This was all over for this video, Meteors, and this video we talk about parameterized constructor, and also we repeat our default constructor as well, that in previous video we talk about it, right? Now this was all about for this video, Meteors. I hope you enjoyed the video, Meteors, and I hope you learned something from this video. If you enjoyed the video, please like the video and share it to your friends as well, and do subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching, Meteors. I will see you next time.